Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. We have BlackRock and some of the biggest players in the space being involved with Ondo Finance. And so I have a ton of information on that. I have proof putting the pieces of the puzzle together. And so if you enjoy this content, do me a favor and hit the like button and subscribe for future videos. I'm going to be showing why it is important to own at least 1,000 Ondo tokens. And so let's go ahead and jump right into it here. Now let's take a look at the price of Ondo and take a look at the chart here. Currently trading at $1.55, and so we can see just a couple of weeks ago, this pushed around $2.12. And so since then we have been pulling back. We can see these large dips down to about $1.30 have been being bought up very quickly. And so this may be a good opportunity here to buy Ondo, right around $1.55 as the market is pulling back. And so if you're interested in signing up for a different exchange, there is a link underneath the video to Weex Exchange. They have over 1,000 different altcoins listed on their platform, and this is a very simple exchange to use. There is no KYC required. And so let's go ahead and jump into the information on Ondo Finance here. And so as I mentioned, they do have a big event coming up, and they are working very closely with BlackRock. And so we have the Ando Summit coming up here on February 6th in New York. And so this is less than 2 months away, and I'm going to be sharing why this could be such a huge event. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. I'm going to be digging into more information on Ando Summit here. I just want to take a look at some other information first. And so first off, BlackRock and Securitize are working very closely together. They launched the BUIDL fund with BlackRock. And so we can see that here. Securitize is focusing on the tokenization of real world assets. Larry Fink has mentioned many times that tokenization of assets is going to be next. And so we can see here their partnership with BlackRock to launch the BUIDL fund. And so let's go ahead and take a look at this post here on X. We can see Securitize posted that their advisory board member, Paul Adkins, has been nominated as the SEC chairman. And so Paul Adkins is going to be replacing Gary Gensler. And so this is very bullish for Ondo here. He has been on the board for Ondo Finance since 2019. And so he's very familiar with Ondo. Obviously, we know that BlackRock and Larry Fink is bullish on tokenization of assets. And so let's go ahead and take a look at this here now, putting more and more pieces of the puzzle together. Now we have Ondo here that is working very closely with Securitize and BlackRock to tokenize their treasuries with OUSG, which is their stablecoin. And so BlackRock is very familiar with Ondo, and Securitize is also working closely with them. Right, and now I just mentioned before that Paul Adkins is going to become the new SEC chairman starting in January. And so this could be very bullish for Ondo. In addition to that, we also have the event coming up here for the Ondo Summit on February 6th, 2025. And so let's go ahead and take a look at some more information here. Now, Wall Street 2.0 is coming. Ondo is bringing institutional grade finance on chain. The first ever Ondo Summit will bring together the biggest names in traditional finance and blockchain. And so let's go ahead and take a look at some of the speakers here. I think this is extremely impressive. Right, we have head of digital assets from BNY speaking at this event. We have Fidelity Investments, head of Fidelity Digital Assets speaking at the event. We have BlackRock here, right? And so we just talked about how BlackRock is closely integrated with Ondo. We also have DTTC here. We have Franklin Templeton, MasterCard. And so just look who is speaking at this event, right? We have some of the largest people from the traditional finance space. We have BNY, Franklin Templeton, right? BlackRock, MasterCard. And so I think this will be a massive event here. This is going to be very bullish for Ondo Finance. In addition to that, they're also going to be launching their global markets in February as well. Now, while we are talking about tokenization of assets in BlackRock, I'd like to take a look at this video clip here from Larry Fink, mentioning that tokenization is going to be the next step. The ETFs went live in January, almost 1 year ago, and now we're going to start seeing tokenization taking place. Now, real world asset narrative is really going to start gaining traction in Q1 of 2025.
We believe the next step going forward will be the tokenization of financial assets. And that means every stock, every bond will have its own, basically, CUSIP. It'll be on one general ledger. Every investor, you and I, will have our own number, our own identification. We could rid ourselves of all issues around illicit activities around bonds and stocks and digital by having a tokenization. But the most importantly thing, we can customize strategies through tokenization that fits every individual. We would...
And so I do believe that is the future. I think that is where we are heading, is the tokenization of assets, right? BlackRock has said it, and they have a big impact on the markets. Just look at the speakers at the Ondo Summit coming up in February. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at some more information here. We have Ondo is also contributing $1 million to Donald Trump's inauguration in January. Right. In addition to that, we also have Donald Trump's World Liberty Financial buying Ando Finance as well here. Now, just about a week ago, they purchased Ondo worth about $218,000. And so there is some connections taking place there too, right? Ondo is donating $1 million. World Liberty Financial has bought $218,000 of Ondo as well. Now, I'd like to talk about one other thing here that a lot of people are concerned about with Ondo. Now, that is the token unlock that is coming up on January 18th. And so the total supply for Ondo is 10 billion tokens. Right now, the circulating supply is 1.45 billion, about 14.5% of the total supply. And so on January 18th here, coming up in about 25 days, we're going to see an unlock of 1.94 billion tokens. Right? That is a massive amount of tokens. That is more than the current amount of tokens in circulation. However, that is not all going to be happening at once. We're not going to see 1.94 billion tokens released on January 18th. This is going to happen over a 3-year span. And so let's go ahead and take a look at that here. We can see that this is happening every single month here over a 3-year span. Now, that does not mean that this is all going to hit at once. Now, is it going to impact the price? Yes, because as more tokens are put into circulating supply, that has an impact on the price of Ondo. However, with what they are building, I'm still very bullish on Ondo, especially with the launch of their global markets happening in February as well. And so that's something to be paying attention to. This is going to be happening very gradually over a 3-year period. And so this is not as concerning as many people are making it out to be. I think we see this in a lot of different projects, right? I mean, look at Solana. They had a huge unlock of tokens a few years ago when Solana was trading around $8. Now we have Solana trading around $150, right? I mean, so just because tokens are unlocked, this does not have a negative impact on the price. We have to look at the bigger picture here. We have to look at what Ondo is actually building. Look at the event that they just released that is going to be happening on February 6th. Look at the speakers that are involved, right? BlackRock is focusing on tokenization. They're also working very closely with Ondo and Securitize. We have Donald Trump's crypto company buying Ando Finance as well. And so there's so many bullish catalysts for Ondo coming up over the next 2 months. I am not concerned about the token unlock that is coming up in January. Now, in addition to that, if we take a look at some other information, when this token did launch, right? I mean, this is new since about a year ago. And we can see that Peter Thiel's iconic VC firm, Founders Fund, and Pantera Capital co-led this round. This is the first time Founders Fund has led an investment in a token-based project. And so other investors include Coinbase Ventures, Tiger Global, Golden Tree Asset Management, Wintermute, Flow Traders, and Steel Perlow, a deep tech management company led by former Google CEO Eric Schmidt. And so, I mean, just look at the people involved in Ondo. Right? I mean, look at the people that invested in the early rounds, right? In the A series funding round, we have Peter Thiel that has been involved in Ondo Finance, right? I mean, as I mentioned, if we just go back and look at the Ando Summit here on February 6th, it's going to be happening in New York. Just the speaker lineup here makes me extremely bullish on Ondo moving forward. As I mentioned, there's a lot of bigger speakers here than there are at some of the Bitcoin conferences. And I think this is very bullish for altcoins and the real-world asset sector moving forward. Now, if you enjoyed this video and found this information to be helpful, do me a favor and hit the like button and subscribe for future videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video.